Okay fellas, today we're gonna draw a scene from Pokémon. Pokémon you say? Again? Yes, and that specifically happens because I finally got the new game to play. Pokémon Shield in my case. I have a few opinions about the game and I will share those during my art process right here. So first of all, you already noticed that in the last few games it gets so easy. So the games are basically made for idiots. Honestly, it's really sad. I'm also currently playing Pokémon Crystal again, which is from the second generation, so 90s. We're talking 90s. It has the simplest of graphics, and you're also missing a lot of functions you have in the newer games. But other than that, it's absolutely great. I always said, when I was asked what edition is your favorite, I said Crystal, because this whole generation, Gold, Silver, Crystal, is by far the most interesting and best developed. I love the day and night circle, which they don't have anymore for whatever reason in the newer games. I like the challenge, it has just the right amount of difficulty, especially when you're doing a Nuzlocke like myself. And especially in the Crystal edition, it's very cool because there's this additional storyline with the 3 legendary dog Pokemon, Suicune especially. If the Pokemon games are missing anything, it's certainly story. It's always the freaking same. Why do they always have to collect badges and train in some kind of championship and go for being the champ? As if in the Pokemon world universe there aren't other people who have different goals and ambitions. But hey, never change a winning team, right? And this team wins for more than 20 years, so why change now? And that is of course because the fan base is always shifting. You have always, with every generation of Pokemon games, there's a new generation of people playing it. I figure the base of players from their age pretty much stays the same. Of course there are the long time fans like me, which are still playing all the games. But I think we are the tiniest number. And yeah, those are pretty much experiencing this kind of adventure for the first time. And of course you have the topic of the anime series where Ash is trying for over 20 years, still being 10 years old or something, to be the champion of whatever and failing at that horribly. Because he always lets go of his best Pokemon, like Charizard for example, my absolute favorite. And starting with new ones, because it's nothing more than a big long advertisement. So anyway, coming back to this new game, it's very easy. Everyone just throws items at you, and not just one reviver or whatever it's called in English. I'm playing in German. It's one of the few games that I'm actually playing in German, because then I at least know a few of the Pokemon. And more importantly, the attacks. Although that is also easier, but also better, you can always check before attacking what the attack actually does. But yeah, the items. You meet someone before every major fight, after every arena fight, they just give you health potions and whatsoever. And like I said, not just one, they give you 2 or 3 right away. Then of course, in the early editions it was always, if you choose your starter Pokemon, your rival picks the one that has the advantage over your Pokemon. So if you picked Squirtle, of course the other one picks Bulbasaur, because it has the elemental advantage. Well, in this case, and I think it was also in the 1 or 2 previous games like that, your rival just picks the one that's weak, because that's easier for you, and that's pretty stupid. Which is also the reason why I right away started with a Nuzlocke challenge, so every Pokemon that's beaten dies. So I put it in a box and never use it again. That's why I also lost my starter already. I'm not playing with my starter anymore. It didn't even get the chance to evolve into its final form. In earlier games you had this item. You get it rather late in the game. It's an XP sharer. So If you give it to one Pokemon, if that Pokemon fights, the experience points are shared among all your team Pokemon. Well, in this game it happens automatically from the start and you get a whole lot of experience. I think for the first 3 hours I really only used one Pokemon, my starter. I had, I don't know, 3 or 4 Pokemon already evolved several times before I actually used them for once. That is pretty cool if you're looking to complete your Pokédex, which is nowadays nearly impossible, I would guess, since there are nearly 1000 Pokemon already. You also don't get any emotional connection to your Pokemon because they are basically worthless. You're training them without any difficulties. They evolve without you having them seen from behind in the battle window once. Yeah, that's not really my thing. Of course, I'm disappointed with Pokemon that look like teacups, for example. And yeah, coming to the very best and very worst of this game is my motive for this picture right here. Starting with the very worst, it's your rival. Hopf is his name, I think. Hopf. Yeah. And he very much hops on my nerves every time he comes up, and he comes up a lot. Going again back to the older games, you see your rival, I don't know, a handful of times throughout the whole game, and he wants to fight you, yeah. And this Hopf guy, he is just always there, before every arena, in every town, basically at every crossing. You see him and he always wants to talk to you, and he is such a horrible character. He's just so energetic and always moving his hands and his whole body, and he doesn't stop talking. Jesus. So yeah, I hated him in the first 10 minutes, and I still hate him, and I want to crush his bones with my Pokemon, which is exactly what I'm doing in this painting. And to top it all off, let's get to the very best part of this game. It's probably the very first really hot female character in a Pokemon game. So basically those games are very innocent, right? So they are made for children, they have very simple dialogues, very simple storylines. The interactions between all the characters is very simple and very innocent. And now comes along this absolutely great and extremely hot character named Sonya. Basically she's the new professor in the game, and I couldn't believe it when I was looking for a reference picture of her. I stumbled across so many artworks, and mostly of them are really inappropriate and not at all innocent anymore. You see amazing artwork of her in a bikini, without her coat, without even less. I left her basically the way she is. I liked her exactly like she is, with her awesome outfit, her very exceptional hair. I only made her interested in my character, of course, which is wearing the baseball jacket I bought for basically half of everything I had, money-wise. So yeah, my character fell in love with Sonya, and she fell in love with him, of course. To make it all perfect, I have a great Pokemon that punches my rival, my annoying little rival, in the face. And there you have it. That's my picture for today. Let me know how you like this kind of video of me talking about the topic I'm actually drawing about. Maybe it was interesting for someone. If not, I'd be happy to get any feedback that's helpful to improve my videos. Oh yeah, and of course, Demon Kingdom, the continuous story where you can take part in writing it, will of course continue as soon as I find the time to draw the next chapter. It's already written, and I have a few other ideas which I want to make videos about. So look out for that, subscribe if you haven't, and see you next time. Bye bye. Sonya, I love you. My character loves you, of course.